Here is my contribution to Man Behind the Machines. Challenge. John and Yoko are in bed, giving their peace a chance, while the cameras record. And they seem to be bored. Everyone hangs on their every word. Few and far between it may seem, although they might flow quite abundantly. The press captures it all, simulcasting in the fall, while John and Yoko lay sprawled. Lovemaking ensues in front of the news. They all watch what position they choose. The world is quite glued. On the ground lie their shoes. While Buddy Guy somewhere sings the blues. His beard majestic and brown. His lenses perfectly round. The love of his life unbound. Sitting, lying, laying, falling, sprawling, squirming, giggling, swimming, laughing, clapping, guffawing and chortling about it all. The microphones lean in. The news anchor says, "I think I just saw his spleen." While snowflakes fall outside, John gives Yoko a ride. In front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large, in front of the eyes of the viewers at large. In front of the eyes of the viewers at large. In front of the eyes of the viewers at large. They're doing whatever they want to. They're doing whatever they want to. John and Yoko, all we are saying is give peace a chance. There you go. From here to you. That is my contribution to Man Behind the Machines challenge, which is offered later in this program. During this program, you will hear Lawrence August interviewed after the most recent National Fittest School Challenge 2019 in Hermosa Beach, California. Very well documented. Please go on to YouTube. Check that out. Also, we've got the second half of an interview with Naaman Sherriel. I do believe, I did release one of the episodes with Naaman Sherriel where I was talking with him. This is the second part of that. And then I also released the first part of Lawrence August talking, and now this is the second part of that. So I'm putting these together, combining them. And there you have it. Get ready to listen to some great stuff. We've got our friend from Awesome Sauce podcast. Also, from Cannabis Conundrum. And Mr. Turetsky, he's on there. We've also got the Inspirado hotline. So make sure to call that. Okay, please. We would love it. You can listen to us on Spotify, TuneIn, Breaker, Spreaker, Stitcher, Blueberry, Podacy, Podchaser, Podknife. We are ubiquitous.
This is Robert from Twin Peaks, and you're listening to Inspirado, Projecto. Got a light?
Right, so it's like a which came first, chicken or the egg kind of thing. It's
maybe like you just can like shake an egg into a chicken, which makes unlimited eggs again. I don't know, like
it's like it became that because you were so confident, and then one might say you were so confident because it was that, and it was screaming so loudly. It's so funny because you just when you just roll with it. It's incredible the way that this stuff evolves. I mean, I've been around people who are so good at manifesting this stuff, yet one of those people who is always saying, "Oh, what a small world," or "Oh,
yeah.
what a coinkydink,"
yeah.
or
"Oh, what a coinkydink."
Yeah, and they'll go, "Oh, what a small world," and I'll say, "Yeah, and an incredibly cosmic moment in time. Wouldn't you agree?"
Yeah.
Like
yes.
Like okay, you're not like recognizing how all of these elements just
it's so dismissive
lined up.
Like you need your when you're in these partnerships to kind of like man, dude, just get on board with this, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
Even if there was just this idea of just playing with the idea of I know it's absurd, but I'm just gonna pretend. That's the best way to do it. Just pretend that
because
this is the universe talking to you.
You have more fun. It's kind of like it's going to be more fun.
Absolutely.
How is it not more fun than the other way? It is.
Right.
It is more fun.
Right.
It is more fun. Like, why would it be more fun to be?
Right. I'd rather live a bland beige existence. A bland, generic.
It's like I just pretty much figure that I'm. That doesn't seem very fun. It seems like a whole lot more fun to feel like there's some conspirating in your favor, that there's something that's like giving you.
And then when you play around with it, and then you see it continually talking to you, you want to keep that communication rocking and rolling. You want to keep that line open, and it's.
I love that your buddy Mike, he was like there, and he said, "Man, we had a little more advanced notice, man. We could make a rock video."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, it's just so funny. It was like a rock video,
right.
All right. I didn't hesitate to.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea why it would be a rock video per se.
Right.
But I understood what he meant. Like,
right.
you could could blow these kids' mind. Like the term rock video, it's kind of like almost like I just took it as shorthand for something kick-ass. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's fucking rock video. You know, like it's kind of a kick-ass thing. Like
yeah.
it just seems.
Let's do a rock video.
Yeah. It's too bad. You know. I like always saying stuff like Sodi. How's that guy been? Have you talked to him at all?
I haven't.
What's well, tell me what he'd have to say about the physical challenge.
Like, yeah, it's about time you got the kids of America out there doing push-ups. I mean, God. I mean, when I was living with my ex-girlfriend, she had Gloria, she had her son Gio, and I'm like, Gio, why don't you do a couple of push-ups or something, you know?
Oh my God.
It's like,
oh my God.
you know, I used to do push-ups in gym. I mean, maybe they're not doing it in gym or something these days. I don't know.
Dude,
Yeah, just do it, do it.
Dude, it's so good because you like. It's not even just the voice, dude. You get the whole point of view. Like it's exactly what Sodi, exactly what he would say. Like how he would kind of think it through and like he kind of, dude. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
He kind of like has his own understanding of things and how he.
Yeah, a certain way of presenting
presenting and the things he's noticing and wants to talk about.
Oh,
it's like a little different than almost anybody I've ever known. Like he's kind of like, and it's like, it's a funny thing because he's got like a handful of interests, so that's kind of narrow.
Right.
But his way of like throwing it into the discussion is unlimited. It's like like he's just like unlimitedly like creative with how he'll like put a sentence together.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he'll just. One of my favorite things, I want you to kind of pull it off if you can, is like, you know that thing when Sodi, he'll start explaining something and then he gets a little more excited because he's pretty somber, he's kind of mellow, but then when he starts like feeling it, you get real happy because you like seeing him happy.
Oh yeah.
And he starts.
He starts like.
He'll start like laughing.
Laughing and
he's getting tickled by something, and you just feel so good that he's like letting himself.
Oh yeah.
I just love that so much. And he'll start telling a story, and he'll start laughing, and he gets like. He's so like old school. There's something old school Italian about him.
I know what you mean. It's such a tricky thing.
But then he'll get a little mischievous with something.
Oh my gosh.
Get such a kick out of it. You're so happy to see.
Oh, I love seeing the mischievous side.
Dude,
I love it when you
so
really get them going.
Funny, dude.
You really wind them up, and you get the full.
Yeah. Oh
the
God.
full Sodis coming out.
And his physical. The mannerisms, man.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so fucking amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like, dude. It's like on a level of like how. Like Jack Black or something is, you know how?
Oh yeah.
Like Jack Black will move, and you're just like, that's Jack Black moving. Like there's nobody that really can pull. Like Sodi's.
Oh yeah,
You know, and his shoulder getting in there.
Oh yeah, the shoulder. Yeah, he'll get the shoulder in there.
And he's like this like really wicked good dancer.
He is.
But it's like in such a like John Travolta, like it's like so unbelievably like. Dude,
it's
unbelievable.
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
So like Chicago Italian.
Oh my gosh. I remember we went to Daytona Beach, me and Phil Donlin and a couple other guys that I was in this improv group with. You know, one of them was his roommate, my buddy Steve Rinneker. We went with Sodi, and I remember we went to some club out there, and just watching him, he had his hat. You know, like sometimes he'll wear his hat, and it's like.
And when was this? Was this like college?
Oh, this was
era,
like.
or like
let's see, around COD, COD, I think era. A little bit after high school, and so when I was going to COD, and we went up there to Daytona Beach, and so you know sometimes Sodi he'll just like he'll have a hat. He'll put a hat on his head, but it'll just...
Yeah, he just kind of throws it on the back of his
there.
head.
Yeah, it's like there. Pointed up strange or side. Like he just kind of...
throws it on his head. Yeah.
And so that's kind of how he was wearing this hat.
With his fucking posture.
Oh, yeah, and
it's amazing, dude.
His Zuma pants, like his pajama pants. So he was wearing the...
Amazing,
and
man.
the pants probably had some
the tongue with the high tops, maybe, or some wrestling shoes. Or something real simple.
Oh yeah, wrestling shoes, absolutely.
Some like Asics wrestling shoe, or like an Adidas type of soccer shoe, or something.
Yeah, the kind that's got the flat
some
foot
low
that's
socks
like,
and some kind of like.
The low socks.
Some kind of sody thing.
Yeah, and his pants have like an '80s kind of design on it with interesting geometric patterns.
Yeah. It's got the T. Michael gear.
Yeah. Maybe patterns look like macaronis or something.
Yeah.
And, interesting colors, some pastels maybe.
Right.
And we're at this club and he's dancing around, in that way that you're talking.
Oh man, amazing.
And it was just great because he was just dancing close with this gal, and you're like, oh wow, that's awesome. And just to see Sody, and he's the way that he's moving his shoulders, you're like, man, this is so
he's
cool.
He's just digging in and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's just digging in, just really dancing,
feeling the music.
Oh my gosh, it was so enjoyable to see him enjoying himself so much. And
oh god,
I wish Sody could really understand the true appreciations that we have for him, and I hope you really...
If he could plug into our soul, and feel what we feel, because it's so much admiration. It's like something about that guy, dude. He came through for me so many times. I lived with him for quite a long time. Him and I, when we were living at T's together, then we all moved in. It was me and Myra and Sody.
Oh yeah.
And then Myra and I broke up, and then Sebastian was living with me, and it was like me, Sody, and Sebastian.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was such a fucking wow, what a time, and and I'm always driving cars that break down, and that's what I do, and he just fucking come to my rescue. I don't even have like a cell phone. I remember I go to a payphone. He's like, where you at? I come through, and he's got these tools, and he's fat fuck, and he's like doing the mechanic thing.
Oh
he's
yeah.
Like, you blew your. I'll try to get under there, but you might need a. I might need a lift. You might need to you got to take this. Take it to the guy. Ask him about this, and then find out what it is, and then get it back. I'll get. And he's like giving me advice, and he's just like the way he's giving me the car talk, dude. And he just knows everything about cars.
Yeah,
dude. He's like,
and he's in his element, and it's so
taking
juicy.
in too much air, and you got a mixture of gas going in there through the carburetor.
Yeah,
and with this year on this car, this what I'm like. How do you even know about this? 1979 Datsun.
Yeah.
He's like, well, from 79 to 83, these came stock with a big.
Right,
I could probably retrofit I could order it at go over to O'Reilly.
Oh yeah,
I'll pick it up and I'll set you back, but I don't know, $45, $50, and I'll, don't worry, I'll do it. No labor. Dude, he had this little Miata, and he was always fixing that thing up. And there would be shipments. He would have UPS was always coming with some part.
Oh my gosh.
My quarter panel's coming in from UPS today. Can you sign for it?
Quarter panel.
Yeah, I'm putting a new exhaust on the Miata.
Oh my god.
That should be coming in on Tuesday. If I don't know if you're around or not, but I'll.
Oh my god.
Put that in. It's gonna be sweet.
Stay in the second lane from right.
Yeah, my pistons, they're not firing the right way. They're not firing the right way. These damn pistons. Order a new quarter panel and get that thing. And they only got them in Europe in this one little tiny shop. You're not gonna. This isn't like it's a little mom and pop store. They're probably only open from 11 a.m. to 6.
Is this wrong?
Oh, that's okay.
I can do this?
Whichever you like. Yes.
And then tell me where to go from
Oh
here.
yeah.
Because I think do I do this?
Go ahead. Yeah. Go
left.
Yeah. That's good.
Is this? Did I go left?
Oh, you know what? What the heck? Go right. I just realized this is the street.
The guy just endlessly
In 900 feet,
endlessly
and then
amusing.
turn left onto this street.
Because you just there's very few people.
The big one.
Yeah, Lancashire.
Yeah.
There's very few people. It's like he could be funny without doing anything. It's just he's naturally entertaining.
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of like, and you're not, and it's not like, we're not like laughing at you like it's like you're some kind of aberration that's an abomination.
Right.
You're just like so freaking cool. You're so clearly dialed into your own thing. There's no one like you. And it's such a rare quality that I think that's what it is. You're just like, it's so rare because his obliviousness to like how he's never a person to try too hard to be anything he wasn't.
Right.
And it's such an amazing quality. You're like, man, dude, like, because it gets the best of us. We're all out here, and man. And when he was doing that stuff for like the Discovery Channel and all that, and then when he got to play a terrorist, do you remember that?
That's right. They put him in a beard.
And they made him.
They darkened up his skin. Give him a big old beard.
And
He
put
put him in
like
the big truck.
He looked like
Oh my God, that did not look like
suicide
Sodi.
bomber.
Oh my
And
God.
he had like a hooked nose.
Dude,
like, the whole
my
thing,
God.
Dude. They let
Oh
him do
my
that
God.
though. He was like in charge of the renters. Yeah, I gotta go pick up a couple tanks.
Yeah, and I'm the only one they're gonna let drive this
and
thing.
I'm the only
I
one that
said,
can
hey,
drive the damn
I'm the
thing.
only one who can drive
I'll be a
this thing.
terrorist.
I'm
And then
gonna
he
have to
like,
play
and then he was like, they did like a thing on like ninjas. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah. Was
And he
in
had
it?
yes.
Did he dress like a ninja?
No, like he had to like
Fight a ninja?
he had to like fight a ninja or something, or like get fought, and then he got to do
shit.
like a little Sodi
Oh
thing
my
where
God.
he like did like a dive
Oh my
roll or
God.
something. It was, dude, it was so good. Man, if he has that footage, yeah, it was like it was like real. It was like they did a story about this guy that was like a real, ninja or whatever, and like, how to get into a house and
Oh my
how
God.
ninjas would really break into a place.
Oh my God.
Sodi was.
Oh wait, that's right. And he was hiding in
Yeah,
there. They
he
had
was
to
like
find
hiding,
him, right? They had to find him. That's what it was. They had to find him. Yeah.
It was so
That's right.
good.
That's right. That's right. They tried to find him. The ninjas tried to find him in the house.
Dude.
Oh my God. They're like, let's see if they can find Sodi.
Oh my God. I
see
wish
if the
that
ninja can find
I wish the
Sodi.
show was cool
Sodi.
enough to just
Finding
have
Sodi.
that.
Now for another edition of Ninjas Finding Sodi.
I love those shots. It's like, what was it? It was like you and Josh and Doug Holmes and like Andy Smith and like everybody and like Sodi, like you guys were like in a cabin shooting pool. It was like Fuge.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Like, what was it? Like,
Oh yeah.
maybe,
That
like
was
Chansky was up there. Like you guys had like the coolest
what was
group
that?
there.
That was Josh's
Yeah,
bachelor party.
yeah. You guys are all up there, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Doug.
Doug was there.
Dude, there's another guy, Doug Holmes, man. Like so.
Oh my gosh.
Just such a pure guy, like
Yeah.
and just he's like easily amused, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
he's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's like OCD about stuff. Like, dude, the guy is so awesome. He's
Oh
so
my gosh.
he's so like squared away.
Oh yeah.
And then he'll cut loose.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's funny when you see him
like
cut
down
loose.
to play.
Yeah.
And he does his little. Dude, and I worked with him, and then
Oh my
like,
God.
dude, we didn't just like work, like we worked together. Like, dude, we were together every day. Then we lived in the same apartment building. Then he moved to the Sherman Oaks store and hired me over there. He's
Oh
like,
my
dude,
God.
He's like, bro, it'll be rowdy. I'll get you in immediately.
It'll be rowdy.
He's like, there's somebody here. I'm firing them. like the way he explains, he's like, firing them, hiring you, done. like it's
Done.
so fucking Doug, dude. He would do. He's like, unacceptable. He's like, he's like, this other person, done.
Unacceptable.
You're in. He's like, you're in, hiring you.
Very good with his enunciations
Oh,
too.
dude, so
He is so sharp with the enunciations. I'm surprised he didn't go into voiceover
He's
work.
such
That
a
guy's
solid
so
guy. And he's like, also, he's a Midwest Chicago suburb dude. Like, he's solid. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I one thing, man, I really miss and appreciate about home is like it's like there's quality to people. Like they're like, oh man, I'll help you out. Like they're
Yeah.
like, it's like it's built in,
Yeah.
No man, I'm on my way. It's just
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
such a wonderful. It's like it's just different. It's just different. Some people out here, they don't got that.
Right.
and
That
that's
little
why, like,
extra something. That
dude,
that
Rocco,
going
like they're so solid. The most solid people.
To give away everything could be the answer. To give away everything could make a big change. This burden that we are asked of to shoulder, sometimes we have to move on and give it all away. We'll 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 make the dominoes fall, we'll make the waves move, we'll make the weathermen say the tide is turning. The generosity generates the good news. We'll wrap it up in a bow and give it all away. We'll give it all away. We'll give it all away. We'll give it all away. For all the heaviest days, freedom. For all the mess that we've made, freedom. Another test we can take, freedom. We'll lessen up on the weight, and we don't have to wait. To give away everything could be the answer. To give away everything could make a big change. This burden that we are asked of to shoulder, sometimes we have to move on and give it all away. We'll 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 give it all away.
You know, some people out there, they're a one-hit wonder. I personally like to think that I am at least a 3-hit thunder. That's right. That's right. I'll be here all week.
Hey everybody, gather around. Want to hear the Inspirado hotline number? Yeah! Alright, goes a little bit like this. 561-203-9179er. 561-203-9179er. Say, I got an idea. How about you try it? Sounds great! Okay, here we go. 561-203-9179er. That sounds great. 561-203-9179er. That sounds awesome. 561-203-9179er.
Complete the sentence. Roses are red.
Mr. Inspirado Projecto, I just wanted to stop in and wish you a very, very, very Merry Christmas. I hope it's the best one yet, and I'm sure there will be many more to come. You have a great evening and a great day, sir. Until we speak again. This Foxy Lady. Peace out.
Shout out to Inspirado Projecto. This is Joey the Meathead. This is his first plug. I wanted to say I hope I didn't offend you. Offend you.
This is Blythe Baines, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Theater, and you could see, in a sense, it's kind of a musical, it seems.
Right, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's even going back to, like, old classical times, you know, like with Nikolai Scriabin. Like, he was a composer that had synesthesia, and
So he could see the sound.
He could see the sound, like the color of sound.
Oh my God.
He painted his keyboard the color spectrum of color, you know, so from dark red to dark blue, and within it.
Who did this?
Nikolai Scriabin. Now,
how do you spell that last name? Do you know?
Scriabin, and
I gotta investigate this.
He was a Serbian composer from like the early 1900s, and like his last piece of work, he had imagined it being not only performed, you know, with a full ensemble orchestra, but also to have theatrics, to have a play going on, in which the performers of the play would actually be a part of the crowd for a minute, come out of the crowd, work their way through the crowd, interact with the crowd, go onto the stage. He said that they wanted like speakers under the seats. Now this is way back in the early 1900s, like 1910 or like the late 1800s or something like that. This is when he was thinking of this. Supposed to have like speakers or something to move the seats under the seats in the theater, shaking and the rumbling and everything to simulate earthquakes, going along with the trumpets and trombones and things. That's also supposed to symbolize earthquakes as far as the sonic spectrum. And then to even have little nozzles under the seats to release certain perfumes, smells. He wanted to gauge every sense of the human perspective. So from sight, visual, smell. I don't know how he was going to do taste. You know, they'll pass out drinks around or whatever. But he wanted that incorporated in every aspect of the performance. So those dark and heavy moments, he really wanted you to feel that dark and heavy moment. Those light and uplifting moments to bring joy, he really wanted you to feel and see light and inspirational moments. You know? And
so he really wanted to immerse you in that experience, so you were completely five-dimensionalized into that hologram of what he was doing.
And so nowadays, that's exactly the same thing that's going on, I feel, or should be going on, and it is throughout every medium of the platform, you know, with radio, you know, us having a podcast ability to record things, and then people can come back, and then the whole thing you was explaining about Anchor, how people can come, leave messages, feedback, whatever kind of response they want to give, so that way people are more interactive with whatever medium that they're on. And I mean, it's only about time that music, or audio in itself, you know, catches up with that. You know, now that technology is being made and it's being applied and, you know, connecting us in such a way, you know, film already needs sound, you know. So now it's at the point to where sound needs film. Because you could watch a movie and have the picture off and just listen to nothing but the dialogue and all the sound effects, and you could still get a really good idea of what the hell the movie's about. Mm-hmm. Sure, you don't understand that they're jumping from a building, but for some reason you're gonna know they're falling from somewhere. You know. Versus,
would it be interesting? Oh yeah, versus what?
Watching a movie on mute. You know, how much detail are you gonna be able to understand? You know, you see people are arguing, don't really know what they're arguing for. You know, you saw somebody jump off a building, but you don't really know why he did it.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it's like you got to piece up a lot of puzzles together, and it's like one of the things that I was directing myself towards with my first album was to also come up with like a short script so I can have an anime to go along with it. Because initially my music was composed for like a short film. All of it wasn't used, so I felt like, hey, with all this extra creative juice, I could create some extra out of it, you know.
So you have, so someone animated something to your music?
No, not yet.
But that's the idea.
Yeah, that is the plan. That's fine.
So in a sense, the music video is an animation. Is there going to be talking in it, or is it just basically going to be the music and what's presented on the screen?
Well, yeah. See, now that was the thing that I was kind of stuck with when I was writing it out. So I got to the point to where I was thinking, like, man, there should be some dialogue. So I think, if anything, to really like capture the attention of the viewers and everybody, is to have some parts with some dialogue. That way, there's a story content, and then the music itself is just going to drive or tie the scenes together. You know, maybe some of the tracks will be like some underground background music for a particular scene when there's dialogue, and then when it gets to a really climactic theatrical aspect, you know, it goes into the climactic theatrical aspect of the music. You know, that way everything just ties together and is cohesive. And I think it's a great idea. It's almost like working on a movie backwards, you know, making the music first and then writing out the story. You know, and I think it could work, and I think that
it would be interesting. Do you know anyone with synesthesia?
Yeah, synesthesia.
You do know some people with it?
Oh, no, I don't.
Because I'm thinking it would be interesting. What popped into my brain is to see if those same people see the same images when they listen to the music.
I imagine everybody would have their own different kind of interpretation. I mean, sure, there may be, you know, like with colorblind people, how some people that see blue and orange differently, right? So their blue is really orange, or orange is really blue. There's a couple of people that see it like that. But how blue is that person's blue and how orange is that person's orange? You know, that's the thing that we don't really understand or know, and we won't really be able to see that, you know, from their perspective. You know, so it's definitely interesting, and I know that there are people that exist that do have synesthesia of some sort, and it'll definitely be possible to find these kind of people.
Just imagine someone with synesthesia and also an artist, and I'm wondering, what would be interesting is if those elements combine together. So when they see colors, they're also seeing, you know, your music is very visual. It's very visual when you're listening to it. There's a quest going on.
All right, thank you.
There's a quest going on. There's something dramatic happening. There's like that first one that I heard. I just remember. I just imagine like a wedding or some kind of outside party. People are out there. I imagine upscale kind of people, hoity-toity, kind of just very, you know, they've kind of. They don't really appreciate much. They're just kind of people who are just kind of like, they've done it all, and there's not really a thing that can go beyond that point. They're at some outside party or something. All of a sudden, there are these clouds kind of coming across the sky, and then these dragons or these beings, these creatures just swooping in, coming in from the clouds and grabbing them by the talons and yanking them off into the sky, and you hear them going, ah! And so I just, like, while I was listening to that, I was just imagining this, like, people hiding under the tables and, you know, just this swirling, like, crazy thing of, like, you know, no one's trying to defend themselves, I mean, in terms of defense, you know, maybe they're trying to throw, like, a cocktail glass at the creature or something, but, like, they didn't know how, any way to prepare for this kind of thing.
Right.
Do you get images in your brain when you're creating the music, and then the music flows out of you, or do you create the music and then you go, ooh, I got this idea?
A little bit of both. Like, a lot of the times, I mean, one, it stems, you know, from your emotional state, your mood, to an extent, I feel. But then also, it was just me wanting to tell a story, and you know, I start picking around at some notes. Maybe I hear something, my imagination goes, but only as far as the sound. And then once that initial first phrase gets written, you know, I start thinking about the character or the nature of what it was that I played and how it can subvert into something else and what is that something else. So then from there, you know, variations of different things going on in the background, from, you know, arguments from apartments, you know, a couple of neighbors down the way, or, you know, you hear a car accident happening just down the road, or it's raining outside and it's really windy and it's just banging the windows and everything together, or, you know, even the thunder and the lightning, the dog barking at somebody or something like that, you know, whatever kind of ideal or emotion that gets triggered from behind that, you know, it's not intentional, but it does go within the music, almost in like a purposeful kind of way. And then I'll sit back and look at the whole piece. sometimes I look at it and see, okay, there's too much going on here. I need to put a break here. I need to put something a little bit more calmer, something a little bit more soothing, something a little bit more tranquil or peaceful. You know, I look at it like that, and then once I'm done, take a whole look at it again, and then, you know, certain visuals come to mind, you know, as far as like an anime scene, or maybe like, you know, when you turn on the news and you're watching breaking news and there's a car chase. You know, things like that. It's like, oh damn, this car chase is going perfect with the tempo right now.
Oh, that's great.
Let me enhance all this anticipation and angst. You know, seeing this car chase build up, I'm gonna do some strings.
Oh, I love it.
Have like some nice staccato work or something like that. And just pulling any and everything that's going on around me at that time, within my life, within my memory. Just trying to make it come together into one kind of story. But then, you know, rearranging it and telling the story again, it's like, okay, kind of everything that came into mind during the initial conception of the creation can sometimes go out the window and become something totally different. You know, a different intent, a different purpose, but it still has those same connotations attached to it. You know, I can read myself from that perspective, but somehow, some way, it's still going to translate. You know, somebody else is going to pick up on that. Like, I had this one track where I imagined footsteps. That was my only thought. Giant footsteps. Like, I want to make this track feel like you're walking along somewhere and you're just taking these big-ass footsteps and you got really huge feet. And so I made a piece with that in mind, and then when I went back to it, I was thinking, you know what, this really doesn't sound like a footstep kind of song anymore. It sounds more like some other kind of thing. So then when I sent this to somebody else, her first response back, sounds like giant footsteps. Like I'm taking big footsteps and I'm walking somewhere. And I'm like...
They actually read that original intention that you got in there.
Yeah. And I was like, hold on, how is this possible? And around that time, this was like a little bit after I had... I was attending the Arts Institute in Hollywood, and we had a subject for psychoacoustics. And this was just, I mean, there's so many realms within this parameter topic, psychoacoustics, right? But in a sense, it's like how your brain perceives sound. You know, that's the basis of it.
Ooh, wow.
So getting onto like a technical aspect, since you understand music, all right, so like A4 at 440 hertz versus A4 at 432 hertz.
432, I've been listening to a lot of 432. There's a vast difference.
Yeah, I brought that up specifically.
Vast difference.
But that little subtle difference, your brain really is not going to register A4 432 is this much different than A4 440. It's just going to say, hey, that's A4, you know. A in the fourth octave is around that area, you know. So that's one level of psychoacoustics. The nature I wanted to get to was how we communicate. You know, we communicate through sound, essentially. What is sound? Nothing but vibrations and tones and combinations of pitches and patterns and things like that. But even rhythm and melody also go into it, you know. It's like when you're excited and your pitch gets higher.
Oh, yeah.
Or when you're asking a question, you know, you hit it with the questioning kind of sound, right?
Yeah.
Or when you're angry, your voice gets lower or it gets more aggressive, it gets deeper, it gets louder and things like that. All right, so with that being the case, you know, phonetics and phonemes, it's just almost like pitches, right? So like D's and C's and things like that. And then how you put them together, you know, whether you're creating some kind of clash, some kind of agreement within the sound. And I wanted to see that, would it be possible to just translate thoughts from sound itself, not necessarily language and words that we originally think of, you know, what would be the most basic form of communication? I think has to be music. You know, it's the most universal language. So if it is a language, let's see if we can actually treat it as a language and communicate something. Mm-hmm. And like, not only communicate emotions, but to communicate a thought. a concept, just a phrase,
Yeah.
one little thing, giant steps. And
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, is this gonna work for everybody? So then, most of the people that I played it to, I think even you had gave me a response on it too, saying something like taking giant footsteps, and I was like, holy shit, like I'm on something here.
You got that original intention in there.
Right.
You
So it's
infused
like,
it right in there.
How is that possible?
Wow.
How is it that the brain will pick that up?
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know how I made it, implemented it into the music, but how is it that other people are now interpreting my initial concept after I changed it? After I changed it according to my own perspective, you know, the initial phrase still stuck in there. It's like, what? How does... It doesn't make sense to me right now. It really doesn't, but I just need more time to experiment it.
It's cool when you treat it like it's a science. When you treat those notes like they're little chemicals that you're dropping into the petri dish or into the slide, you know, and you're about to get that microscope in there and see how they all play with each other. And 432 and the 440, it's interesting because when you check out the differences between how they sound, 432 sounds so pleasing. It sounds so pleasing, and you can't put your finger on it. You're going, they're playing the same note, but they're just tweaked a smidgen. And so as a thanks to that, that's why I tuned my guitar to 432 HZ. I made sure to tune my guitar to 432 HZ, and then it just had a different, very pleasant vibe.
Yeah, I mean, so far from my research with that, it's kind of strange. All right, so like a lot of natural sounds that we hear operate within a certain ratio of frequencies. Like the Earth's own natural resonant frequency is close to 8 hertz, right? And
8 hertz?
Yeah.
I heard it was C sharp. C sharp is the bass tone that it's creating, apparently.
Maybe. That could be it.
But
I looked at that at like it's like 7.62 or 7.83 hertz, but it rounds off to 8. And so considering the 432, it's actually like 432.4 or some shit like that, 432.2. 8 breaks into 432 perfectly, right?
Oh, I love it.
So that lets you know that it's natural, it's harmonious with the earth and everything that's on earth. Okay. So things that are disharmonious with nature is going to operate on another ratio. So what do we have that's disharmonious with nature? All of our machines, engines, planes, these drills that's digging into the earth, you know, all of these things are fluctuating at disharmonious hertz of energy, you know, frequency.
Yes.
And so we're surrounded by this sound throughout the day, every single day. You know,
Right.
even from a light bulb to a refrigerator to a freezer, air conditioning, you know, these things are all, whether or not you really hear them or you're really paying attention to them, they're going on in the background, and it's creating a subconscious kind of effect, you know, which is like the kind of direction I was going with my music also, you know, to affect people on the subconscious level, see if I can create any kind of changes. Just like what even Nikola Tesla, his invention of his free energy tower was not only going to provide the world with free energy, but it was also going to supposedly induce ourselves into a higher state of consciousness.
Wow.
So it's like everybody would be in a more harmonious level. Now, would that necessarily say that it'll stop all of crime? I don't know. Not necessarily. But is there, or could there have been a chance that a lot of things could have been better? A lot of things could have been more peaceful?
Well, one thing's for sure, when you're more harmonious, you're less filled with friction.
Right. You're less willing to cause conflict and clash. You know, that's the whole point of it. Is that you're moving together.
Yeah.
You know, so if everybody was able to think on one certain kind of brainwave and correlate with each other just from that basic principle and really understand each other as human beings, like, hey, we're all just human beings. We're all just here on this planet together. Let's make the best out of it. You know.
Wow, and then just imagine applying those theories and those ideas that Nikola Tesla has, and you infuse them into the music, and it's just this subliminal thing that is affecting people. There are those I've heard about, like there are these concerts that people go to where the music is played at a particular hertz that induces vomiting. So people go to these things where they'll actually like together they'll be vomiting, but it's because of this particular hertz that's going on with the music that's being played, specifically generating that. Now imagine if you take that another direction, where you're playing the specific hertz that are the megahertz or whatever, mini hertz or megahertz that make you go, excite you and fill you with joy and enthusiasm and dreams and epiphanies. How cool would that be?
Yeah, definitely. Hell, even that study was done during the Vietnam War, where they found out what the brown note was, which was 7 hertz played at over 160 decibels, will make your sphincter relax and empty out all your bowels. So this was one thing that they did flying over the troops in Vietnam, to make everybody just kind of stop and drop their weapons. The only thing was, I think that it affected everybody that was in the radius. So not only did our side get hit,
oh my God, this is crazy that you're saying this. Because I just imagined a person with superpowers where they could actually willingly make people have diarrhea. Like what an easy, if someone's mugging you, you're like, oh yeah? I can't believe that I forgot to thank Blythe Baines for your promo. Also, Naaman Sherriel for that awesome song that you added to this, AIYK. Also, a song with
Lawrence August and myself that we put together called Give It All Away. I played the guitar. He sang along, I sang along, he wrote it. Oh my gosh, so much fun. So thank you guys so much for listening to Inspirado Projecto.